Howdy, 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 and welcome to another episode of the DirtInfo podcast. If you could, as always, hit like or subscribe, whatever one applies to you or both. Always appreciated. And with that, let's jump into our first segment.
It's called Stylin and Profile.
Thanks, Rick. Carter, I see you getting ready, so fire away.
I don't think I did this one yet, surprisingly. I hope I didn't do this one. Did I do this one? No?
I've done it. You've not
Okay.
done
Yeah,
it.
well, it's the Benji Lacrosse sweatshirt. I have the shirt too, obviously, but I wore this today. I was like, oh, I don't think I've done this yet, surprisingly. So,
And then for those who don't know, is that a familial connection?
as in family? Yes.
Yeah. No, we've mentioned it a couple of times, but we're picking up new viewers left and right. So, um, I don't know if it's relevant or not, but I think it's cool that he's your cousin. So I like to brag about it. So anyway, with that, I'm wearing the 7K racing shirt. So I picked this up this past weekend, and so this is the Conchati's family racing shirt. And I love that it was just $22 for big man sizes. So I was a big fan of the price. And then I also hung and talked with them while I was at the Fall Classic. So I always like to support the local racers and can't beat a good price and a good looking shirt. So the back is the same in case you're wondering. I know
It's got
you're
a
always
pocket
asking
too.
about
Did you
that.
show the pocket?
It doesn't have a pocket.
Oh, it
No,
doesn't have, okay, it doesn't have a
this
pocket.
one does not, but this one I like the breast logo on like they have on this one. So I think for the Dirt Info podcast shirt, we should have a breast pocket and then just have our logo. That's what I think. So then it's like I love a breast. You
I'm
mentioned
not a
there's
pocket
things
fan.
that but you're so resistant that you've probably not worn one, so you don't know all the utilities for it. But like, give it a try. You'll get one for free. There are shirts like you don't even have to pay for it. So you can store a pocket or a phone in there when you're walking the pits, a Zin when you're not walking the pits.
My phone falls out when I bend over.
We're old. We don't bend like we're adults now. Anyway, I'm just kidding. I've already mentioned what I'd like the Dirt Info podcast back to look like. I think late model, modified, in a stock car. Then
I feel like a
just kind of
Hornet has to make its way on there with so much that we talk about them.
we're getting there. It might have to be a 4-car. Maybe. I think we just made an on-air decision that it's a 4, probably. So, but anyway, with that, Carter, we should probably jump into where we did, or what we did. I can't talk today. What we did, and I'll have you go first.
Yeah, I went to Luxembourg this weekend for the Spooky Showdown, the second annual Spooky Showdown. And I think this was the first weekend since like March where I had only one race planned for the whole weekend. There wasn't two. I did look Friday. I was searching, but there was nothing within like 4 hours. So just Luxembourg Saturday. They had 248 cars in six classes. They had vintage cars too, but they didn't have them on my race pass. I think there was like seven, so 255. Is that right? Yeah. Uh,
Yep.
so yeah, 255, I guess, if you count vintage. And they did actually race. I thought there was another vintage series that doesn't really race. It's kind of just like they're just kind of out there running laps. But these ones actually ran. They raced, and I think they were there last year too when you went, and they were solid. So I didn't actually mind these ones, so I guess I could count them as racing because the other ones I don't really count as much.
It's kind of more like parade around and nice
Yeah,
cars.
these ones because I actually saw one. I saw one Friday. They were getting to the track a day early, and I thought it was a street stock at first because they looked more like newer. They're still older style cars, but they looked more newer. And the stocks by me, some of them have like that old style body, and I was like, oh, it's a street stock showing up, and then it was a vintage car. But yeah, they had 255. Uh, I guess they got like an inch of rain Friday. I didn't even know it was supposed to rain Friday until it was storming outside. So the track had some character to it, but it didn't rubber. So as a fan, I'll take character over rubber. I don't know about the drivers, but you could pass. So I mean,
Yeah, there's that.
there's that. Um, and then yeah, there was a rough night for the four cylinders too. They had two pretty big rolls. The first one especially, when you saw the videos, they were
Yeah.
One guy had like four barrel rolls down the back stretch, and actually he that guy that rolled, he brought out backup car for the B main. I don't know if he went and picked it up or he just had it with him. But then you in the B main, he's or if it was someone else's, I'm not sure. But all of a sudden in the B main, he was back out and he almost made it in. He was one spot out of the transfer with a different car. It would have been real impressive if it was the car that
car.
he
Yeah.
rolled. But then the second roll that
I don't know. Having a backup Hornet sounds pretty damn impressive. 4 cylinders,
Four-
sorry.
sport compact actually by me.
More
There's
context,
8 million different names for him. But then
yeah.
the second roll that I sent you, which was a little bit of a lighter roll, but still a solid roll. That guy just drove off the track with it. He didn't even need a tow truck. He's driving this thing on the trailer.
Hornet is okay. It was fun. It was funny because I had mentioned to you on Saturday where I was that I had seen my first ever Hornet red flag or roll, and you're like, oh, I saw 2 tonight, and I'm like, how is it that I don't recall ever seeing this, and you've seen 2 in one night? So
Yeah, I think I've seen 4 cylinders roll over more than any other class. Maybe sprint cars, but I haven't seen sprint cars as much as I saw 4 cylinders like weekly growing up. So I honestly think I've seen 4 cylinders roll more than than any other class. Uh, I guess that'll
yeah.
happen.
I mean, and that's not to say I maybe haven't seen it. I mean, maybe I have seen it before. I just can't recall.
Don't remember
This
it.
one, yeah, this felt like a first when it happened. Maybe because he went hard into the wall first, but it was a pretty rough wreck.
There was
But
a street stock too that rolled at Luxembourg. I caught like a tiny bit of it. He all I know is he clipped the tire, the infield tire, and then rolled. But I didn't see the full thing of it. But yeah, it was a rough night for a few guys. Some guys hit the wall pretty good, but overall, I don't know. I thought the racing was good. They struggled with the sun at the start of the night because they started at 4 o'clock, so it was like track prep every few races. But then as soon as the sun went down, it was very little track prep. They did, I think, some before the B mains and then after the B mains, and that was about it. And then the guy in the shirt I showed, he won the mod feature, so that was cool. And Travis Hansen, who won the hard charger last year,
yeah.
from you,
Yeah.
he asked my mom. He was like, "Am I gonna get $50 from the DirtInfo guys this time?" My mom's like, "You didn't even win the hard charger."
Doesn't matter.
He did take second though. He started first and he took second. He
Okay.
finished second to the only other 54 car that was there. So
Yeah. Right on.
second best 54 there. That's not that's not
That's
bad.
not a not a terrible feat, not at all. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're gonna lose, it might as well be to the same number.
I did think they were going to end up wrecking each other, throwing slide jobs at each other at the
Oh
start,
yeah.
but they were okay. Everything was fine. But I was like, uh-oh, hopefully we don't take each other out at the
Oh
start at
yeah.
lap one. But yeah,
Couple
they
of
were all
buddies
right.
having a little fun.
Thinking they're like a go-kart track, just them two out
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. Hey, I mean, they've raced together, I'm sure, plenty, but not every now and again you get to start a fall special in the front row with your buddy. You might as well put on a little bit of a show, I guess. There's no one out there you trust more, probably. You know? Anyway, but yeah, no, that's pretty cool. So was that more or less all of it?
Yeah, I don't got much more
Yeah,
from there. It was
no worries.
later night, but racing I thought was solid, so that's all you can really ask for.
Later night.
Yeah, later night in my area. Yeah.
What, 11:15,
No,
11:20?
12:15.
Okay, that's whoo.
Yeah, Lemire.
How were the Facebook comments on that one?
I didn't actually see a ton, but like it was pretty full up until around like a lot of people left before the features because it's a late night and they were like, all right, we're getting home.
Wisconsin don't care. 11:30 or 11 is call time. Anyway, no, that is actually legitimately kind of a late night. I just went, 2 hours past that where I was. So, but I went to the Fall Classic at Ogilvie. It was a good time. I will say that for the most part, it was a good time. And then, to be fair, I do think we went a little late just due to weather conditions and track conditions. It was hot. It was hot all day. It was 86 degrees. And it was very, very windy, and it definitely did rubber once or twice, so they had to deal with that throughout. So that, I mean, full rework twice over is going to slow you down. So unfortunately, that was the shakes, but we were still there kind of late. But I enjoyed myself. I went on a pit walk, like I'd mentioned before, talking about the shirt, but I caught up with the Kachati race team. So that's Teddy and Jackson and Josiah, and I talked to them for probably 20 good minutes. I enjoy going to their pits, even though they're young kids. But every time I go in there, I learn something, and that is like one of my favorite parts. I learned when choosing a body color, it is wise to choose a color to which you can easily match duct tape to. That
Oh,
was
so
the
like black or a gray,
yep,
white. I guess
yep,
there's white duct tape too.
yeah. So like if you got a nice, standard royal blue, it's easy to match up. But like if you have a yellow, that's a little tougher. But that was my pro tip out of there. So that was good to know. Moving forward, if I ever own a car, I'll know to match my wrap color to duct tape. But no, and then I ran into Chop Liver John and talked to him for a good couple of minutes. Uh, but I was just a little bit of a joke, not actually chopped liver, but you had made a comment
I
about it, so I figured he'd get a crack out of it when he hears it. But I'm not sure you didn't look like the reaction I wanted.
I didn't know if that was just like his nickname or like normal nickname or if that was an inside joke.
No, that was an inside joke between me, you, and John. I think.
Oh, Chuck. Oh, sorry. I was zoned. I was thinking of someone. I know exactly what you're talking about now. Yes. Yes. It didn't register who you were talking about at first, but now I know what you're talking about.
All right. Well, we wasted a lot of time on a joke for three of us, but here we are. Anyway, but I talked to John for a good long while. That was definitely cool to see. And then Sherry, I didn't notice I did this, but there's a gentleman I've seen at the racetrack a couple different times, and I apologize, I can't recall his name, but I was walking and he's like, "Hey, it's the Dirt Info guy." And I guess instinctively I just turned around and was like, "Howdy." So now you know that this is not a shtick. I talk that way. So anyway. But yeah, I did most of my pit walk while the drivers meeting was going on. So it was kind of like just a breeze through and get some picks. I did catch up with Ashley for a minute, Ashley Boyum. So it's good to see her again. And then yeah, other than that, then the racing itself was solid. But really the Pier stocks was they maybe either the Pier stocks or the Hornets. One of either the first feature or the last feature stole the show.
I said I liked the pure stocks, and you had a
Yeah,
full field, and they were good, full for them,
oh
I guess.
yeah, we got the traffic and everything. Yeah, yeah, it was pretty cool. And I apologize, I'm not gonna remember the gentleman's name, but it was a last lap pass too. So he was hunting him for lap after lap after lap, and he's kind of setting him up. And on the last lap, he went forward and got around and took the dub. So that was pretty cool. Um, the mod feature was, or not the mod feature, the Hornet feature was interesting. The gentleman who ended up winning, he was leading, and at this point, we kind of had like a rubber down track again for umpteenth time. It is a tough night for the track, but it was really just sort of one lane around, right? And second, Brady Faso and the gentleman who won, his first name's Randy. I can't recall his last name, but anyway, they were going into one to go. They were going into turn two, 1 and 2, and he got a little too far into him, and the leader got like a little sideways and out of the line. He was able to save it, but Faso took the lead, and then the Randy came in behind him. And then going into 3 and 4, Faso very clearly went out of the line and let the leader regain the position coming to the white flag. And then as soon as they were even, Faso slammed it. And we're like, we're going toe to toe on this last lap. So I just thought it was like a good sportsmanship way to race. Like I didn't mean to get into you that hard and knock you out of the line. Like we're gonna square up and we'll settle it on the final. I appreciated that. I thought that was a good way to race. So
I was able to watch that feature because I was home. So,
yeah. Did you see it the same way I saw it? That's how it looked like. I was standing over in the
I
corner
didn't
of
realize,
one and
I didn't
two.
see it like I just thought it was just like I don't know. I guess I didn't realize that he maybe have like let him kind of back into it, but I just thought it was like, oh, it's a good finish. It
Yeah.
was like solid race up until the end, and then the end was pretty good. That's
Yeah,
kind of all I can remember. But yeah, I just remember being able to catch the last three features from there.
yeah.
What was it? Mod 4, Hornets, and there was USRA late model. Those are the three I was able to
USRA late
watch.
model. Yep. The late models was kind of interesting because that was Cade. This is, I guess, I learned this that night, but this is the last season he's in the USRA. I don't know what he's racing next, but this
Probably a
is the
Wissota
last.
late model.
Probably that or a modified, one of the two. But yeah, I actually ran into when I was one of the few drivers I ran into was actually Daryl Nelson, and I was too chicken shit to introduce myself. But I was taking pictures, and he was like, "Hey, you can come." I was like, "All right." And then one of his buddies is like, "Yeah, no problem. You can actually just go ahead and jump in one of the cars if you want." And I'm like, there's no shot I get in, and if by some miracle I do, there's no way in hell I'm getting out.
You're driving it, I guess.
Yeah, I'm driving it. And then Daryl's like, "Well, definitely not that one." And he points to Cade's car. And I sort of thought in my head, could you imagine I'm the reason he doesn't get some fat fan is stuck in the car?
That would be quite the story. Like all-time story. Yeah, I didn't get to race my feature because a guy got stuck in my car and we couldn't get him. We had to call the fire department.
Yeah, joke gone wrong on everyone's end. It was terrible. Jaws of life. We had to cut him out. He's in pieces now. Anyway, uh, so but yeah, so that was, you guys, an interesting point about the late model one. And then also too, I would say for me personally, one of the more suspenseful races was the mod feature, because Scott Teefs had said earlier when Blake Adams won the Midwest mod feature that if he won the mod feature, he was going to lock up the national title. So if he was able to win that feature at the Fall Classic, he would have, I guess, locked up the national title over Sobraski. So it was an interesting watch because he led like the first half, and then on a restart, Belfly got by him and kind of.
Did he end up second?
I think he ended up third, actually.
Oh, gotcha.
And then Shane, I think, ended up fourth.
Wow, so not enough to. Which I don't
Not
even
enough
think.
to
I don't
close
even think
his.
second places. I don't even know if those are worth saving at this point. It's probably only wins, if I had to guess.
Yeah, so I decided to look at it. There's 6 points separating them, but when I was trying to figure out, because there's drops and they only take
Yeah.
so many features and all that. But when I was looking, neither of them showed that result in any capacity, either as a drop or as
Yeah,
a
on my
common
race pass,
feature.
did you look?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's like a week behind or something like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
then it could be different. That's the only place I did look. But anyway, I guess it's close still, and they're gonna, I think, settle it on this coming weekend, probably at I-94 is my
Yeah.
guess. Unless there's
I-94 and
another
Hibbing are
show.
the only two shows that are running. So I guess you
Oh,
could run I-94 Friday if you end up doing terrible in your heat, DNF or whatever. You could go to Hibbing Saturday because
yeah,
then you have like
because
basically a whole new chance because it's just one full
yeah.
show.
I think Adam's been to Hibbing a couple times this year too, so maybe he goes there. I don't know. We'll see. I
I
guess it's
think
an
probably,
interesting
I bet you
storyline to
it'll
watch.
just be run Friday and decide after that. It's like, all right, we
Yeah,
start up front or we're in the back of a B main. Let's go. Let's
yeah.
change where we're going.
Change it out. Could be. Yeah. Whereas with Shane bringing all his cars, he's probably just hanging out wherever he goes. Wherever he ends up, that's where he's staying, I would presume. Um, but yeah. Anyway, so I thought that was an interesting, but otherwise, yeah, it was a late night. It made for a late morning. You were at least for 5 minutes from home. I had to drive an hour home. Still tried to get up Vikings game. I did not succeed at waking up exactly when but I did actually end up
I got
getting up.
up at like 8:15, so I was up. I was up for the Viking game, and they won this
Yeah.
time, so I didn't regret waking up early for nothing.
Right, right. I was not up that early, and then I actually had drove over to my parents too on top of it. So that made for a long Sunday, I'll tell you that. But all in all, good show. I can understand why it ran as it did, but all the same, that was a bit of a but anyway, with that, I'll be honest, I didn't get to catch much else of racing this past weekend with high school football on Friday nights. I'm kind of missing out on a bunch of stuff now, but you watched a little at least. So what all were you watching? And we can touch on what we've followed on MRP.
I wasn't planning to watch much of Lucas, but the lights went out at the Outlaw show on Friday, so I ended up. So it
First
got
I heard
delayed.
this.
It got delayed, so I actually was able to watch the Lucas
Yeah.
feature. I didn't really pay much attention to it. I do remember Ricky Thornton Jr. had a flat tire though, and had to go to the back, which in turn made the points a whole lot more interesting because Moran ended up winning. I think RTJ
Mhm.
took ninth, and then the next night, Moran was one spot ahead of RTJ. So now Moran has the point lead. So like we were saying,
Yeah.
80 points is not as much as it's
Yeah.
normally is in any normal point format. So I think it's like pretty much winner takes all situation next week
More or
at
less, I think
Eldora.
so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Might be two spots. I don't know their points exactly, but honestly, the way their points is, it might be literally just one spot.
Yeah. I think quick time plays a factor. There's
Yeah,
someone
you
you
get
get
a
10 points for quick time, so at that point, yeah, it's really more or less one position or two, kind of winner take all. I did find it interesting. Like, I guess JD can win if like the cards fall all kinds of goofy
yeah.
ways.
He's got a
He and
chance to
winning,
win.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But
he did
really, it's kind
win.
of winner.
He did win Saturday. I should mention. He
He
picked up
did,
50 grand. I
yeah.
didn't watch any of that. And all the Saturday shows I missed, but Friday I watched. I know the Outlaws, once they got the lights back on, Dennis Erb Jr. won his first win, I think, all year with the Outlaws. I think first time since last year. I know it's been a long. I
That
saw a
sounds
post.
right.
I saw the post when he last won, and I can't remember what race it was, but it was last one Outlaw show, and it's been a
Yeah,
while. And I think Sorensen was second, if I remember right. I feel like he was right there. Which he has makes sense. He has experience on that track
yeah.
with USMTS at Humboldt. Um, but yeah, I didn't catch any of Saturday. I don't know if I assume you didn't either. So
I didn't catch much of the race. I did catch who won, so I guess Tim McCready won on Saturday at 81. And then the one thing that I caught about that whole race is that Gustin had a bit of a like a throwback rap to his mod rap. So his
yeah,
late model rap was a little bit inspired by his old modified rap. And then he ended up racing a mod too and won in a modified.
yeah, because it was the Ed Gressel, I believe, like I don't know,
Yep.
Memorial or what it was, but that was like this car owner at one point when he ran a mod. I actually had a shirt of that mod when he ran it when I was like in eighth grade. And I thought it was really cool because the gold part of it was like kind of like like shiny, like sparkly,
Yep.
like it wasn't normal
Yep.
like print. And I thought it was a really cool shirt. And I didn't even like care if Gustin was good or bad. I was like, oh, it's a cool shirt. I'll buy it.
Yeah. It's definitely like seeing it now, it's like it has a certain vibe. It's definitely feels like a I'm trying to figure out how eighth grade what year that is. So I don't like
2015-ish, 2016. No, it would have been
oh, yeah,
2015 or 14. It was around there. Yeah, it was 2015, I think.
fair enough, fair enough. It does have a mid 2000s vibe to it. It also feels like just the design in which I don't know if that's flames or squiggles or whatever it is, but it has a vibe. But anyway, I really like that. It has a certain vibe to it. So even without the sparkly stuff, I would probably have bought that shirt just because I really like the car. So anyway, and it was cool to see him win. So
Did he? Oh, he won the mod feature?
he won the
Oh,
mod feature.
I
Yeah,
never looked. I last looked and they were around the B main, and I never went back and looked. I saw Dotson was in a mod too there,
yeah,
which
yeah. There's
I
a
don't know how that came together, but I was like, oh, that's a surprise to me. I was not. I guess either they announced it and I missed it, or I'm sure they worked it out beforehand. It had his number on it and
I
everything.
saw someone, I can't remember who. Yeah, it was a deal that came together, but he raced someone's car. I know that.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah,
I saw a post someone saying that he was racing their car. And now it's gonna bug me that I didn't bother to like write it down. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, that was kind of cool. They had an interesting mod field there for sure. I think Mullins showed up too,
yep,
and
he
a
was
couple other
there.
guys. So probably Brandon Givens because I think Givens drove for Gressel as well. So
I think
um,
either Wolf or Davis, one of the two. One of those was at USR Nationals, and I think one of
Wolf
the
was
other,
at yeah. So
yeah, and
Wolf
the
was
other.
at USRA
Okay,
Nationals.
then it
So
was Tyler Davis that was at, I
yeah,
believe was at 81.
yeah,
Which
yeah.
did we mention Tim McCready won
That's
that too?
that's whose car he was in.
Oh, he was
I did
in
mention
Tyler
McCready
Davis's
one.
car. Okay.
Yes. Yep. That's who Dotson was in. So all right. Well, if you're still here while we ramble through that, we got there. Go us. But Yeah, I actually appreciate that. Because that show last year was a USMTA show. The Gressel Memorial was a
Oh, was it?
USMTA
Okay.
show.
Did
Yeah,
Gustin run that show when it was USMTS last year, or was he at a late model
I
race? I don't.
think he might have. I think it was one of those situations where there was like a rain out,
Oh,
and then
gotcha.
I think, um, or maybe that was a year before. But anyway, I just appreciate that they were able to keep it on, and that they still had mods, and then that like they got a pretty cool field of mods for the Gressel Memorial. So I appreciate that they did all that and put that together. That's pretty cool. So, um, but other than that, so you didn't catch any Mars?
Oh, I caught Mars. I watched Mars Friday.
Okay,
Um,
all right.
now Unzicker won Friday. There was main thing I remember was the rollover, and I think it was the late model B mains. It was Billy Huff. I don't remember how to say it. I thought it was Hough. However
That
that's
sounds like Huff.
pronounced.
That
Yeah,
sounds like Huff.
he
Yeah.
had like a crazy roll down the backstretch. If I remember right, he kind of just got like hooked on the right side, not on purpose or anything, and then he just was like turning right down the backstretch and got caught on the track and just went barrel rolling down the back straightaway. That was the one thing I remember. And then Unzicker winning. I don't remember. I think Unzicker won pretty safely. Like it wasn't kind of a challenge, but I honestly can't remember much of that feature. I just remember the rollover the most.
Yeah. Do you remember who won the mods? Did you even watch the mods?
I'm sure I had it on, but I can't remember. Was it Fallaway? No, it wasn't
No, it
Fallaway. It was
wasn't.
Michael Long.
Correct. Yeah, it was. It is.
Fallaway won the
Right.
points. That's what he won.
Yep, Fallaway won the points. I guess both the Mars Championship and the UMP or Dirt Car
Now, yeah, the national, whatever
National.
their
Yep,
national title is. Yep, he won that.
yep. So that's pretty solid here. Way to go, Cole. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And then so did you see who won on Saturday? I did write it down, so
Yeah, I saw
please
who won.
remember.
Winger and then Michael Ledford.
Yep. 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 Yep.
And I was
And
surprised
so
Winger went up there, just because
he loves that
yeah,
track.
he loves, yeah. So like it's just surprised like this was the show he went up there for.
Yeah,
It's like a
I
5 and 10.
agree.
But yeah, he really likes Illinois tracks. I feel like he's like a part-time resident up here in the summer, it seems
It
like.
feels that way. Yeah, I mean he fell off the Outlaw Tour a while back, but I feel like since he's gone to two different shows at Fairbury since
Yeah,
he's fallen.
I
Yeah,
think
so
well, I think he didn't he run all of the Hell Tour? Or did he only run, or was he still
I don't
on? No, he was still on the Outlaws when the
know
Hell
on
Tour
Outlaw
started.
Tour. Yep,
But
yep,
he was
yep.
at Fairbury when I went in Labor Day weekend,
Okay. Maybe
and
that's one. And he won
he won.
too.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
won.
that's the one I'm remembering. Yep. Okay. There we go. Yeah. So well, that's cool that he went there. And then another Michael won in the mods. Do
Yeah,
you venture
yeah,
a guess?
Ledford. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
Ledford.
Ledford. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mentioned it.
Oh, you did. Yeah, look, we're missing each other. We're on it and not on it at the same time. Go up. But and then we mentioned last week, but Fager did indeed win the points for the late models. And then the late model we had mentioned that the late model rookie of the year was probably like the tightest points going in, and I wrote it down. Jake Little won, and he extended his lead, so he kind of put a stamp on it. He didn't hang on. He was leading by 4 going in, and he won by 16 coming out, so he really put it on him. And then I did figure out who won the modified rookie of the year. It was Bodie Young.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah, I couldn't find that anywhere. Did they post it on Facebook eventually?
they did. They
Gotcha.
did. Yeah. It's not on their MRP. So that's MRP's awesome, but every now and again you just can't find some. You gotta dig a little. So and then I do want to just I think real quick mention because we talked about this last week, so and all of it held true, so it's more of just like a confirmation. But SLMR had their final of the season at Adams County. Tad Pospisil won that show, but they settled all their points races. Dylan Thornton won in the East, Sobbing won in the West, just like it was going in. Rookie of the Years, Dallin Murdy in the East, Jacob Hobscheit in the West, just like it was going in. And then the most interesting thing I think though is I was talking about how they do that Super 8 or whatever, and that's kind of like the combo platter when they bring everyone together. So Thornton won that, but we had a slight change. Murdy took second and Sobbing took third. So like when they all come together, the top two drivers sort of called East home, and then West took third place. So take it for what it is. I
East
think
is
Saubing might
superior.
have gotten it. I guess. Although I remiss. I think Jesse Saubing may have gotten into it. I don't know for sure. I thought I saw book, but maybe I should have just shut my door, kept it moving. But maybe that played some factor in it. I just didn't want to miss that if that was the case and he fell third because he wrecked out. But and then the other thing that I think we were both trying to keep tabs on, not doing as good a job as we wanted, but the US.
Oh,
Uh,
USRA Nationals, you're cutting out again.
Oh no, we didn't restart before. That seems to be the ticket. But anyway, so yeah, USRA Nationals. So they had a bunch of stuff going. The three big classes that we kind of pay attention to, modifieds, Tyler Wolf, stock cars was Jalen Wettengale, and then the B mods was kind of a throwdown of a race, but Chris Jackson ended up pulling that one out. I saw the highlights of that one.
Oh,
They were
I
like,
didn't notice that. Yeah, I missed that.
yeah. They were going 3 wide to the white flag.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that usually ends up pretty well.
Did they all make it to the checkered?
Yeah, they did all make it.
Okay.
And the guy in the middle won. It seems like usually the middle guy's the one that gets the short end of the stick. But yeah. So anyway, that was more or less all we were keeping an eye on. So because we've mentioned a bunch of other national champions, the USRA mod national champion did get crowned this past weekend, and that was Houston Johnson. So I think he races
In Texas.
I don't think it's Texas. I think it's Missouri. We just talked about the track he was at. That was why I'm like so mad at myself. But I'm less prepared than normal. So I think it's that same track that HMT goes.
Oh yeah, Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah.
I-35 a lot.
Yeah, that's the one. Yep, that's the one. That was all.
Based,
That was the
based
whole
off his
thread I was
name,
gonna pull.
based off his name, my guess was Texas, but
It seems like a
Houston.
fair guess. I mean, but yeah, no, I-35, which is where HMT closes out their season, is home. I had it kind of in my brain there, but anyway, so let's go ahead and move on to what we're doing this weekend. I'm not going racing. Was thinking about it. That got canceled. Maybe we can talk about that in a minute. But you are. Where are you going?
I'm going to 141 Friday for Car Wars, which is like Star Wars, pretty much. That's the whole theme of the thing. It's just another fall special. There's nothing. It's the same classes they ran 2 weeks ago. Boosted pay. Yeah, it's a fall special, but it's not as cool as their first fall special. So it doesn't really interest me as much, but it's 30 minutes down the road, so I might as well go to it.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, I'm gonna finally, as long as the weather works out, finally get Lafayette County Speedway knocked off my list. The only IMCA track in Wisconsin I haven't been to. They have I think it's the Bob Larson Memorial is the name, and I believe that race was held elsewhere the past, I don't know how long, whenever it started. But now Timmy Current's promoting the race at Lafayette County Speedway, and it's a 2-day fall special. I'm just gonna go Saturday because I'm not gonna take off work Friday. But it's 2 full shows, so it works out. I'm not going there for just B mains and stuff. So yeah, I'll finally be able to knock that track off my list because I tried twice the past 2 years. I was supposed to go earlier this year for their championship night. Didn't get done with work in time. I was gonna go a different time last year, but I changed my mind because of weather, and then of course it never rained there. So hopefully this time I could finally get it off my list because not often. It's hard to get there with how far away it is, and they run on Friday. So with work and stuff, it's not easy to get there. So this is my best chance, I'm thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, this is the last IMCA track in Wisconsin, so you'll have completed part of your quest.
Yeah. And the only IMCA track in Wisconsin, only track in Wisconsin that runs IMCA hobby stocks. So I love me IMCA hobby stocks.
Yeah.
Maybe I can convince those guys to somehow talk the tracks by me they'll bring them back.
Yeah, I mean, they talk about affordability of racing. Hobby stocks or peer stocks, kind of similar to up to me. Like I was watching them throw down. I'm like, I'm sure they have to do a little bit of work to them, but what's so different? These are the everyman class, and they look like it, and they look like it, and I had thoughts like I don't mind the Crown Vics popping up, but I'm like, why don't we just all do hobby stocks? Like,
It is funny looking at the state points for Wisconsin in IMCA hobby stocks, and it's just the weekly points at
it's just
Lafayette County. That's all it is. That's how it was with the four cylinders up until a couple of years ago when Futrax added them. But it was just Outagamie Speedway weekly points because they were the only track with sanctioned sport compacts. It's
yeah.
always funny when there's only one track. It's like, oh, these are just the weekly point standings.
Battling for the track and the state championship all at the
Literally.
same time. Yeah, that's funny. Right on. Yeah, so I'm not going racing. I was the when that Thunder Hill show was going on, I was like 25% chance maybe gonna go to that. Um, but that did get canceled.
We
Worth
mentioned
mentioning though,
that
we
show?
never did.
Okay.
No. So worth mentioning. So they were gonna do some modified bracket racing on I think Thunder Hill's like a micro track, right?
Yeah, they run like micros. They run the biggest cars
Legends.
they run there is Legends and
Yeah, these guys
midgets.
are really good there actually. Teddy, Josiah, and Jackson are pretty good there
Do they
in the legend actually.
they
Yeah,
run Legends
yeah,
there?
yeah. So they're actually really good there, um but yeah, they were gonna do mods. They're gonna do bracket racing, which I'm not sure. I I don't mind as like a see how it might work on our track. I'm not sure if I want bracket racing to become the predominant form of dirt track racing. That's for sure. But so that was gonna be interesting. I would have loved actually the opportunity um to see mods on a micro track because outside the one time I was at the dome, never seen anything quite like it, you know. So
Coles County.
uh,
I mean, you weren't there,
yeah.
but
Yeah, but I wasn't there, right? This would
yeah,
have been my chance to see it in person. I mean, trust me, after having watched Coles County the week before, I was like, "Oh, my turn." It wasn't to be. I think they canceled due to sort of commitments of people they were trying to get involved with. I mean, with points racing still going, I thought we saw Blake Adams was mentioned, but he was not able to lock up the natty, so I assume he was going to be bracket racing.
yeah.
He's going to go try to win a natty. Yeah, and maybe a couple other guys too. So it looked like it fell through, but would have been interesting. Other than that, what I am doing though is I'm going to smoke some meats. I'm going to go watch some high school football on Friday night and Saturday morning, and smoke some meats. Maybe go to a chili cook and just take it easy for a little bit. So that's the plan. Uh, and then I'm down to one. I'm only down to 1 week, one night of racing left. I just have topless stats in 2 weeks. That's it.
I have
That's
12
it.
left. 12 scheduled. Who knows? I might end up
Interesting.
somewhere else.
Yeah, I might too, but unlikely. But there's a chance. So
There's
I
always a
heard something
chance.
about a turkey bowl, and you know, uh, I've been thinking. So we'll see. We'll see. Um, but yeah, other than that, a couple things to keep an eye on. We've got so we've been doing a pretty good job, I feel like, talking about points battles. So we're gonna bring back something we haven't talked about in months. But the Hunt the Front Super Dirt Series is closing out their season this weekend at Cherokee. And I was like, what do the points look like? I decided to go take a peek. Jimmy Owens is leading Zach Mitchell by 2 points,
Yep.
which based on their scoring is exactly one spot or less if one wins and one takes second. Because there's a 6 point gap between first and second, and then 2 the rest of the way. So like that's kind of cool. They got 2 races this weekend. I think they've got 8,000 on Friday and then 35,000 on Saturday at
Both at
Cherokee.
Cherokee, which I think
Yeah.
is that
It's
Zach
the Blue
Mitchell's
Gray.
home track or one of his closer tracks?
He's
'Cause
from he's from South
South
Carolina.
Carolina. So
Yeah.
I know I feel like he's ran there a lot, like before running Hunt the Front. Like that's kind of where he was a lot of the times, just from what I've seen on like
Awesome.
Twitter and stuff. So he might have the advantage going into this. I mean, it is Jimmy Owens, and he's ran all over the place, but I think Mitchell, as of late, has definitely ran Cherokee a lot more.
Yeah. Also interesting, this is the Blue Gray 100, usually a Sunday afternoon race,
Oh
which is a
yeah, that's
tire
right.
wear race, and now they're doing it Saturday night. So it'll be interesting
I
to
wonder if it's 100 laps Saturday or if it's 40 Friday, 60 Saturday. That's my guess.
I didn't check, but I recall last year that's how they broke it up, and no one was really,
Oh
really
yeah,
happy about
because
that.
I
And they said
remember
they were going back to
Cherokee
100 on Saturday night.
I
So I
remember
assume it's
Cherokee
100 on
posted
Saturday night.
saying like they weren't going to do 100 laps. This was last year, and people were not
Mhm.
happy about it.
Yeah. I mean, we're not the biggest fans of on air research, but I am genuinely curious if they are doing uh I think I'm pretty sure it is 100 laps, which is kind of cool way, right? Because that's a good way to end a season. Your season, that's what they're doing with Lucas is going to be 100 laps. I don't think the World Finals is though, so
No, it's
maybe a
not. Unless
point
they changed
deduction.
it this year, but it's always been like I don't know, 40, 60, whatever.
Yeah, point deduction for them there, but uh
Also, real quick while you looked it up, we
yeah,
mentioned
it's 100 laps.
those rolls from Luxembourg. I just saw IMCA Doom Scroll is posting them on Facebook as we record this. So if you want to check out the Sport Compact rolls I mentioned earlier, that's where you can find it.
Your footage?
Yeah, from the stream. IMCA Doom Scroll.
That's awesome. Good job, Carter. I know you're just doing your job, but I like when stuff you've captured makes it on other cool platforms. It makes me proud for you. So heck yeah. Way to go, buddy. But anyway, back to what we were talking about. It is indeed 100 laps, as far as I can tell. So that is kind of neat. So I'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. You don't happen to still have your HTF subscription,
No,
do
I
you?
had it for 1 month
Okay.
back
Okay.
in I think March.
And you remembered to cancel it before it rolled over and all that.
Yeah, unlike
All
another
right.
one. Well, the other one I
Yeah.
had, I did cancel it. I just didn't cancel it in the right spot. I had to cancel it from where I purchased it from and not from all that. You know how that stuff works. Like you have to, I canceled it on my phone, but not where I bought it from, which was on my laptop. So it didn't cancel. Yeah, I've had that
That's
happen
not
with
right.
I had it happen with
That's
Dirt Vision before too. So
Man, that's not right. That's not right. If it's my account, it's my account. Why are you playing silly games like that? Don't do that shit. That's underhanded. I'm
they
just
did.
gonna be
There is a
honest.
warning on their website, so I did kind of
I
screw myself.
understand, but yeah, processing anyway. Anyway. I'm gonna leave it there. Anyway, and so then we've also got ARMS so the USRA American Racer Modified Series is joining back up to kind of close out their season. Now they do operate in the South, so it makes sense you take the warmer summer months off, but we've not seen these guys since July 18th, 19th for the Joe Duval Funkadelic Honky Tonk Extravaganza. Still love that name. I saw a dude wearing a shirt of that a couple weekends ago, and I wish I'd got one.
You should have
I
bought
don't
it
even
right
care
off
that
the
it was
guy.
I should, yeah, I should. Well, he was too damn skinny. Otherwise, I would have. I kid, of course. But anyway, so it's been a minute since we've seen them, but they're going at Route 66, and they're racing for 4 grand or 4,000 on Friday and 6,000 on Saturday. So it's a pretty bit of a boosted payout. And given something you brought my attention to, which you're going to bring everyone's attention to in a minute, I'm hopeful they're going to have a boatload of cars, but we'll put a pin in it till we get to this. Um, but other than those two things, I'll be keeping an eye on the points battle with Blake Adams and Shane Sabraski the best I can figure out maybe I'll just check the results and see who want to go that.
Yeah, pretty
Maybe,
much look at that.
yeah, there's a lot going on in that. I'll be keeping an eye on that, and so that's either Hibbing at Hot Dish Nationals or I-94 for the Gopher State. One of those two. They'll either both be there. Or they'll be two different places or something. But that's something I'll be keeping an eye on
And I
as
just want to
well.
mention too, we forgot to say it earlier, but the Outlaws race this weekend at Boot Hill for
Oh yeah,
10 and 50, I think it is. I know it's 50
yep.
for sure Saturday. Friday might be 12. I don't know what it is,
I
but
think it's 10. I'm pretty sure it's
yeah,
10.
so I like Boot Hill. I probably won't be able to watch any of it, but Boot Hill's a cool track, so 50 grand. And I think it's like is it like a joint thing with Comp Cams? I'm pretty sure it's like a
Yes,
joint.
it
Okay.
is. Yep,
So
yep.
you'll probably get those guys, which I think you would have got most of those guys anyways, just given the area
Yeah.
it's in. Um, Hopefully, I wonder if they have factory stocks. I might have to look into that later, but they always get a lot of them. So if they do,
Might be one of the few times you go rewatch a show back.
just skip the late model part.
Yeah, that's fast forward button's awesome on the rewatch. You really do get to the meat of the thing. So, Right on. But yeah, I think that's everything we had intended to cover. That means, Carter, it's time for.
The one for the road. And the thing Josh was referencing that I will mention is so I found this out Saturday night just scrolling through my race pass. I guess the dirt track at Texas Motor Speedway had a race this weekend that wasn't like high
Yeah, a
limit because
little event.
I
Yeah.
know they have high limit there a couple times here, but they had limited mods, I think some form of like stock car or whatever, and then they had A mods when they had it listed as IMCA mods, which is why I clicked on it because I was like IMCA mods here, and then I looked, I was like these are not IMCA drivers at all. And then after doing research, it was like open, it was USRA was like it was you could run whatever, but it was mainly all
Okay.
USRA guys. Like you could run an IMCA mod if you wanted to. But yeah, it was mainly all USRA guys, and it was 4,000 to win Saturday. I don't know if Friday paid anything. I couldn't find it. It might have just been like a qualifier.
Mm.
I looked, couldn't find it, but they had 70 modified. So that's what caught my eye. I was like 70 mods are here. What's going on? I thought it was 10K to win. It was only four, which is still good payday, but with
Hmm.
70, I thought it was a ton of money on the line. But Kate Dillard ended up winning Saturday's feature. I think Ronnie Sanders was down there, Stormy Scott,
Tommy
um,
Scott.
Jack Sartain's one I've heard of. There was a few other guys there that I know I've heard of, more that you probably may recognize from
Oh
like
yeah, there
USMTS
was.
shows.
Yeah, Kyle Slater was there. I think I'd seen Shane Hartline is a name that I see win a bunch with Toms as well. And then Jason Langford was running with USMTS for a while. So anyway, but there was, so just needless to say it was 70 cars and it was 70 like a lot of good cars
Yeah,
too, you know. It's kind of interesting. When you told me I was like we kind of failed. Like we're supposed to be the
it's funny. I
podcast,
didn't see a
but
single thing about this race until
no.
seeing it on my race pass. I didn't see anything on Facebook. Not saying that it wasn't promoted, because obviously the drivers knew about it.
Yeah.
It's just I guess I just don't follow the right stuff to see it, or
Yeah.
what? It never showed up on my feed or anything, so I missed the whole thing. And then I come back and I was like, oh, 70 mods at this show, not IMCA mods. I might have not
Yeah.
even looked too hard into it if they didn't accidentally have them listed as IMCA on my race pass.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, that's actually meant speaking also of the ARMS series, that's where they end their season is at the world the whatever that track is, that
Texas
Texas Motor
Motor Speedway.
Speedway.
Do they
Yeah.
end it in conjunction with High Limit?
I think
Is
so.
it like the
It-
18th or whatever of October? 18th and 17th
uh,
or something like that?
no, the 7th and 8th of November.
Oh, November. Okay, so oh
Yeah.
wow, I didn't even know. Okay.
Unless something's changed, my master schedule, I've been doing my best to keep it up to date, but like I don't know. But that's as of now, the last time I checked their main schedule, that they still had it going
Okay,
on.
so I
So
thought they only had like sprint car shows there for High
yeah,
Limit. I didn't realize they had other stuff. That's cool.
yeah, yeah. But it's kind of neat. So something to keep an eye on. I mean, if they're pulling 70 they're gonna be on everyone's schedule, you know? So interesting. Well, my one for the road. So you did something related to the Gateway Dirt Nationals last week, and I'm gonna do something related to the Dome
This might
this
be a
week.
trend all the way up through December, I feel like.
If they're gonna keep mentioning like doing new and interesting things, I think we might as well keep mentioning it. And interestingly enough, it's all in the vein of like fan engagement, adding more things surrounding the event, drawing people in. I just like I'm the target market either way, I think is my point. But this one, so they announced uh interestingly enough, the hat I'm wearing also was the lead sponsor of the Fall Classic. But so Minnesota Truck Headquarters is teamed up with the Gateway Dirt Nationals, and I guess they're doing a draft night. So both Cody Summers and Emma Summers are gonna take a squad. So in years past, they just like, here's your Friday roster, here's your
Yeah,
Thursday roster, and that's
they
what
would
it is.
they would Facebook Live it too and then make a post after, but it's just
Yeah.
pretty much putting names on a
Yep.
board.
Yep. So they're turning it into an actual draft now. So Emma's going to draft a team, Cody's going to draft a team, and there's a little bit of added stake. So if you're on the winning team, you are eligible to win cash bonuses. So there's going to be some cash bonuses to the drivers on the winning team. The losing team manager takes a pie to the face. So I
And are
think
they
on a live
drafting
is
like between all the cars? Like say they have 160 cars, is everyone taking one person's
I
taking 80, the other person's taking 80? I
I
know.
suspect, yeah,
Okay,
like
when I
basically
read
it's
it,
gonna end up
that's how I
like
understood it, but
one team's essentially gonna be like
Thursday and the other one's
team
Friday.
Cody slash Thursday, and then and then that was like
Gotcha.
team Emma slash Friday. Yep.
That's a cool way
Yeah.
to kind of split the field.
Yeah. Right. Cause you're still like, there's still a little bit of competitiveness, right? Like, cause you like, you want your team to win. So you're going to try to get all best drivers. So it's not like the rosters will be about as even as you could possibly make them. I think,
Yeah.
doing it this way, like, so that's a good way. It's a good way. It adds a little more entertainment. I think it makes, at the end, you can kind of rest assured and
It
just be
would
like, well, yeah.
it would kind of suck to be the last pick though. And that
Oh, I mean, don't think I haven't thought about it, or I'm better than that guy, but like I hope we can all just, appreciate that it's for entertainment and there's no hard feelings and we can all have different opinions. Well, when I was talking to John, he threw a bomb at me and I was like, I disagree. He's like, that's fun. And I'm like, I know it is, and I'm not mad at you for opinion. I actually kind of understand what you're saying, but I still disagree. So, but yeah, so no, I think it's kind of cool. Add something to it, a little something extra. I imagine November 3rd doesn't sound like a super big racing day. Maybe it is, but I don't think it is. It's like a Monday or a Tuesday or something. And
yeah, it's a Monday.
yeah, so I mean, what else would you have it on in the background? Maybe
Uh,
check it out or see who the
we're
first
gonna
couple
have
draft
to
picks are.
record a different day because
Oh, you make a point. Well, we'll do a live react. We're looking for off-season content ideas as it is, Carter.
just do that. Yeah.
A live react for release 2 days later. I feel like it feels like a sure thing.
That does intrigue me just because I'm going. I'm very curious. I've seen some guys that are going because some guys have just drivers have posted on Facebook, but we still don't know
Mhm.
the full list yet. So I
We
assume will be
don't.
the first look at it. We know the mod drivers, at least the ones that are invited, assuming they all accept it. I'm sure most
Most of
will.
them. Yeah.
But yeah, late models is kind of unknown, except for, I mean, you can find some, like I said, but we don't know
Yeah.
everybody yet. So it'll be
Are
very
they done?
interesting.
Are they done announcing mods?
No, they've
Or is
only
there
done 5 rounds, I think, and they've done 8 each. They're at 40, right? They usually do like
40?
60 something, I
Okay,
think.
that sounds about
So
right. I was
probably
trying
a
to remember.
few more rounds, and
Yeah.
then any alternates that are needed. Hopefully not a ton, but there's always a
Hopefully not.
few.
Yeah. Speaking of that, we did a draft for that. We did a draft as a show back when we were a 3. Now we're a 2. But we did a draft for that, and I kind of want to do that again, honestly. But I think we should get some. We haven't done much with guests. We've tried here and there, but if people knew how fly by the seat of the pants we are, they would maybe appreciate why guests is hard. We're busy dudes, man. That's a lot of coordination. Um, but I do think I would like to do a draft. Once we know, it would have to be after November 3rd, of course. We got to wait till we figure out who it is, but
And
maybe
before
get
the
a couple.
dome.
And before the dome, yeah, so we've narrowed it down a little bit. But do something where we, me, you, and maybe 3 or 4 guests kind of jump in. We primarily do this as a Discord call, so we should be able to accommodate, a number of people. And maybe just do like a little bit of a free-for-all draft where at the end you got to have 3 or 4 mods, 3 or 4 late models, but you can kind of, treat them as like positions in a fantasy draft, like you can value your mod drivers.
Oh,
Um,
oh, there you're
yeah,
back.
I noticed that. But yeah, anyway, so they're just kicking around an idea. So, but yeah, I think we know enough people who might want to contribute to that. I have a few people in mind already, and if you think I'm talking about you, I probably am. So, um,
Me? Talking about
you,
me?
but no,
I
when
wasn't
I
gonna
said
make the cut for
yeah,
it.
no, I'm just saying if I say I have a couple people in mind, and if any of our listeners like, what means me, I probably mean you. So, is kind of what I was getting at there. So I don't know. I know I always throw these ideas out at the end, and no one ever watches this far, so their loss. But if if you're listening and you're interested, hit us up via PM. I'd like to maybe start thinking about that a little bit. So that's an idea. But anyway, I think that's everything. Yeah, Carter?
I think so.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for hanging out with us. We'll figure out how bad my microphone issues were in post edit here, and we'll deal with it from there. And I appreciate you bearing with us. So see you again next week, and thank you for hanging out.
See ya.